Welcome back to another episode of the Zabriskie Diaries. Here we are at the start of Stage 6. It's sort of the first real warm day of the tour and first real drama of the tour yesterday.
As far as the crashes?
Yeah, crashes.
Yeah. There was a little controversy that we pulled when Astana guys crashed, but it wasn't like that. So. And we talked to them already, and there's no hard feelings. So that was dramatic, though.
Yeah. Tell us about your day yesterday. I mean, were you at the front when Carlos crashed?
I was playing safety. And so, yeah, I dropped back to help Carlos come to the front, as did a lot of the guys. I think Stewie, Jens, maybe Cuesta. And then Stewie was going crazy on the descent to catch on, and then we caught on, and then I pulled the length of the peloton to get them up to the front. We took a few more turns on the front, and then we were all finished.
Yeah, I noticed you, Christian, and O'Grady all finished, 11 minutes, 13 minutes down, something like that. Was that just based on the effort that you put in?
Pretty much, and yeah, going back to the earlier days when I lost time, it's going to happen sooner or later. It's just speeding it up a bit.
Well, we got just deluged with reader email, viewer email, I should say. People wrote in, and one of the questions was, if you find yourself in the Lantern Rouge position, will you, quote-unquote, defend it?
I looked at the results last night. This one guy from Cofidis, he's behind 45 minutes. I don't know if I could lose that much time. So, I don't know. Then I don't think that'll happen, personally. That would be cool, but...
And when you're in that group like you were yesterday, is there communication with a team director telling you, okay, this is what the time you've got to have to make it in the time cut?
Not yesterday. Yesterday was no worries at all. I mean, you're only really worried about that stuff in the high mountain stages when you get dropped on the first climb and you got to keep pushing for 100 kilometers until the end. Then you're doing more calculations, but we only had 15K to go, so it's no stress.
Yeah, well, speaking of reader questions, I wanted to get to today's question, and it was actually a pretty good one. We had it's sort of a theme, a hair theme. We had asked Chris a question about
a hair theme.
Yeah, about how to. The question for Horner was how to avoid getting the stripes, the tan stripes through the helmet from a guy who had the similar hairstyle as Chris. And the question for you comes from Nathan Morgan, Greenville, North Carolina. Dave, what is your take on the Russian mullets at this year's tour? Would you ever consider going to Vladimir Karpat's barber?
What gameplay? What gameplay? That's Russian. One of my teammates got in a fight with a Russian guy, and he said, "What gameplay? What gameplay?" So we keep saying that. It's quite catchy. I can't stop saying it. What gameplay? But as far as Russian mullets this year, Vladimir, he's got a good one going. Haven't really looked around that much. Gusev, does he have one?
Yeah. And then, of course, Zeki's not racing, but he was sort of like the capo of the Russian
Ivan Mayo shaved his down a little.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And would I ever consider what about Karpat?
Going to his barber, asking for the Vladimir.
Vladimir. I don't think so.
Not your luck.
No.
Well, it looks like today is probably going to result most likely in a sprint.
Gameplay? What gameplay?
Have you ever said that to a rider in the peloton?
I've been saying that, and Tom Boonen has a song we heard in Belgium that goes Tumaka, 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 Tumaka. So those are our two chants at the moment.
That's actually a song about Boonen?
Yeah, it's like a techno. Tumaka, 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 Tumaka. That's the only part I know.
That's the only part you need to know. Well, what do you foresee for today's stage?
Today should be one of the last sprinter stages for a couple days, so it should be a sprinting day.
Yeah, it was interesting yesterday. I know the team had to rally around Carlos to bring him back, and then you guys were pretty spent, and it looked like Fabian Cancellara sort of took matters into his own hands to defend the jersey there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely lost weight they think he showed he can go over some hills in Swiss. So yeah, he had to suffer, but he can do it.
Feel a little bit of breeze just right now. Could be another day in the wind for you then, huh?
Maybe. They say it's a little more in the trees today, so that always helps. When the roads are like higher than the fields is when it gets really hard.
What game play?
What the game play?
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you.
Thanks, Dave.